It's 107 on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the John Phillips Show. Johnny's on vacation. It's Randy Wang here broadcasting live from the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa Living Room Studio. The phone number to join us is 800-222-KABC. We're continuing to take calls from the bombshell reporting of Marla Tejas over at Fox 11. The LA City Council yesterday voted to investigate if the governor of Texas has committed kidnapping and human trafficking by busing 11 different buses of migrants to the city of Los Angeles. So, what do you think about all this? 800-222-KABC. The governor of Texas says he's sending them here because L.A. declared themselves a sanctuary city. 800-222-KABC. Let's start with Raul in Highland Park. Raul, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Randy, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
You know, the three city council members that engineered this whole city, sanctuary business, and they said they mentioned something about sanctuary law. I think they want to make it part of the charter. Are three socialists. You know who they are, right? Ulysses Hernandez, Soto Martinez, and Atia Rahman. They're members of the Democratic Socialists of America. Are you aware of that, Randy?
I am well aware of that.
Yeah, and they're expanding their numbers every election, and Ocasio-Cortez is part of that outfit. And why don't they investigate President Biden and what he's doing with these people when he's flying them around the country? These people that are coming in illegally. You've heard that stories about you have children working in factories and stuff, right?
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I've actually run across Guatemalans. They're selling flowers on freeway on ramps or in intersections. And I'll approach him, I'll say, "How old are you, young man?" He says, "I'm 16 years old." And I say, "You should be in school." And he says, "Well, I'm from Guatemala. I just got here." And they're out there peddling flowers out in the street. Now, that's Kevin Leon's district. He don't care. He's not looking to see where these people are from and how old they are. And there's another young lady over in Rahman's district, over on Van Nuys Boulevard and Ventura Boulevard, and she was a minor, and she was out there peddling flowers and stuff out there on the corner of on that intersection there. So they got to investigate that and what they're doing. And if I could just say one last thing, Randy.
Yes.
What the hell gives them the right to make decisions like that without consulting us, the constituents? Well, we're millions of people, and there are just 15, tyrants that decide, well, this is the way it's going to be. Or I don't know, how many votes were there? 13?
There were 13 because 2 weren't there. So, unfortunately, we're the ones that elected these people. Yeah,
that's true. And see, I'll admit what I did. I voted for Ulysses Hernandez, as a protest vote against the deal. Look what I got, a socialist.
Well, you really had 2 bad choices there.
Right, and that's a good example of when you don't vote. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, boy, we could talk hours about this one. I mean, this is a mess, what we have here. And you see what's going on in San Francisco, all over the country now.
Oh, I totally see it.
You got people from all over the world coming in here. It's not just people from Mexico and Central America.
Of course, and why wouldn't they want to come here? It's beautiful here. Raul, thanks so much for the call. Please call back. Love having these people here. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Patty in Simi Valley. Patty, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, Randy. Good afternoon. Randy, here's what I find very strange, and maybe you can help me understand this. If you go back to the 60s and 70s and 80s, when immigrants started coming from Mexico and other parts of Central America, they did great, Randy. They came over here and they thrived. They became contractors and landscapers, and they thrived over here in the best country in the world. And then they had kids, and they sent their kids to the communist schools in California and in Los Angeles, and then them kids graduated, and then they became members of the city council, and now these members of the city council, Randy, are trying to turn California and Los Angeles back into the way Mexico was in the 60s and 70s. I find it very strange.
Well, they might say that was their mandate. That's what they got elected to do, but a lot of people would differ.
Yeah, I think so. It's just weird. It's just weird that everyone's trying to turn America into a communist country when it's the best country in the world. People like myself come from Ireland and Europe, and we're escaping socialism to come to the best country in the world. And then when the people get here, Randy, they try and change it back into a socialist country. It's just weird. It's very strange.
It's a fascinating part in human life. Thanks so much for the call, Patty. Appreciate it. I could listen to that accent all day. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Aaron in Colorado. Aaron, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Well, hi there. How are you, Randy?
I'm fantastic.
That's good. Well, call me a cynic, but I have the top 5 reasons that these L.A. council people are hypocritical.
Oh, wait, Aaron, I'm not going to hang up on you, but you understand You just said a word you're not allowed to say on the radio, right?
Well, I was repeating something I heard on your radio show.
Okay, let's go.
I listen to you every day.
Let's go through the top 5.
Number 5.
But let's not curse.
5. I won't, I promise.
All right, number 5.
Considering the 440, 500,000 people that we've lost, the population we've lost over the last few years, Governor Abbott's doing California a favor. I think Governor Newsom has been inviting people to come to California, so Governor Abbott is just taking him at his word.
They do say come here. We welcome all people from all walks of life.
That's right. Number 4 is Governor Abbott is leveling the playing field among the states by spreading the wealth. You know, this equity thing. And when did that ever stop anyone, right?
Okay, that's number 4. Let's go to number 3.
Number 3. What's a sanctuary city for if it's not sanctuary?
That is what they say when they vote these things into law, like we've done in the city of L.A. and like we've done in the county of L.A. and that we've done in the state of California. We're here to protect the immigrant community, whether they're here legally or not.
That's right. Number 2, let's see. If California gets choosy about who can come, isn't that discrimination?
Hey, that's fantastic. I like that one. All right, and what's your number 1 reason that the city council is dumb?
Okay, be careful what you ask for. Hey, if President Biden and his people can do it all over the country on airplanes in the dark of night, why can't Governor Abbott do it? And he's not doing it in the cover of night. He's doing it in the daylight and in the comfort of America's great bus system.
There you go. You got your top 5 in. Aaron, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. And she only cursed the one time, so good for her. You know what? Hugo, can you give it up for her?
Yeah, clap that up.
There we go. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. The governor of Texas has sent the 11th bus of migrants to the city of Los Angeles. In response, the city council voted unanimously to investigate the governor of Texas for human trafficking and kidnapping. What do you think about all this? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Michael in Torrance. Michael, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Hey, the last caller said exactly what I was going to say. Be careful for what you wish for because you just might get it. I know I didn't ask for this state to become a sanctuary state. I'm a 9th generation Californian. Okay, my father's an immigrant, but when he came here with his arms open, not his hand open, asking for a handout. Him and all my uncles all served in the armed forces. They all have become Americanized. And it seems like they want to make this into a state where they want to give everything away. There's no return. Our taxes are high. Everything is so high in here in California that, what are they complaining about? This is what they wanted. They wanted all these people to come here illegally. They want them to be here because they think somehow, some way, that they're going to get more votes later on when they need to be reelected. So, as Californians, we have to just say, hey, you know what? We don't want these people anymore in office. And I have to say kudos to Abbott, because if I was in his shoes, I would do the exact same thing to tell them, this is what you want, this is what you get.
There you go. Thanks so much for the call, Michael. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Rocco in Saugus. Rocco, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello. Hello. Rocco. Rocco going once. Rocco going twice.
I'm here. I was on mute. Sorry.
You were so close to me hanging up on you, Rocco.
Hi. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, and I'm sorry about being on mute. But
all good.
Anyway. No, I wanted to call and answer the lady who talked about the Statue of Liberty. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. The Statue of Liberty says what it says on the base because we needed people to come to our country and help build it, help build the railroads. We treated them like slaves. The Chinese came here. We treated them like slaves. The Irish came here. They kind of ran the thing, but they were kind of like slaves. The Italians came here, and they're closest to my heart, I guess, since I'm Italian descent.
And we treated them like crap, too.
Treated them like crap? That's right. Now, they became good Americans. My father became a great American. May his soul rest in peace. The only way he could get here was to marry an American citizen, my mom. And then he came here, and he got here legally, and he became a great American. He loved America. He loved the U.S. My mom was born of two parents from Italy that came over to Ellis Island. They examined you, made sure you weren't ill, made sure you could be productive in this country, and you went to work. You went to work basically as really crap in the beginning until you became citizens, and then you got treated like a citizen. And that's what's got to happen. My point being is we can't let the floodgates open. We've got to meter the people coming in, and the people coming in have not got to come in and send money home to their families in some other godforsaken S-hole country. I won't curse because I know that's a no-no. We don't want them to send the money home to their godforsaken country. This is not a place for people to come that just want a better life. If they're coming here because of political persecution, or if they're coming here to be opportunized. In other words, we're going to take the opportunity to exploit them. That's a good thing. That's what we do to immigrants. We've done it throughout history. I'm okay with it. My family had it done on both sides, and that's how immigrants are taught or treated. The colonizers were not treated well in the beginning. They were treated because they had a hard time. You got to have a hard time when you come over here. So
well, that's definitely one interesting way to think about it. Rocco, we're out of time. Thank you so much for the call, though. I appreciate it. I mean, at some point, he was just going to keep going on. But thank you so much for your opinion. We take all sorts of opinions here at KABC. We want to hear from you. 800-222-KABC. Kevin in Buena Park. Kevin, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Yes. First of all, I don't care for Greg Abbott at all. He's kind of a bad person. The way he handled Uvalde was a time that I just really disliked him. I've never liked him even before that. But anyway, I won't say the word that I'm thinking, but he's right doing what he's doing. That I agree with him. That's probably the only thing I agree what he's doing is okay. The L.A. is a sanctuary city. Bring them all. That's what they deserve. That's what they get. That's what they wish. They talk a lot, but they don't back themselves up. I also, back in the days, I don't like illegal immigration, okay? I have a lot of family history here in the United States along the border, but living here in the United States, I've had, a very hostile environment with my ancestors here. I don't believe in that lady saying Proud Boys. I mean, come on, really? That's uncalled for. But anyway, I don't like illegal immigration, but the reason, I'll tell you why. Back in the days, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was a lot of communists coming here to this country. And they were probably fighting against our people. And they were allowed to come in one way or another, illegally. And that's where I said, you know what? They got to do something about the borders. These people that are coming across, they got to know who they are. I mean, people that want to come in and work and all that, give them all the options. You know what? A lot of people talk down on illegal immigration and all that stuff, but I can say I see a lot of them working really hard. Construction, gardening, really.
You don't see those people. You don't see those people on the street begging for money. These are not the homeless. These are the people that will do any job that's available to them.
I agree. So people don't understand that. A lot of the elite in this country have a lot of illegals working for them. I can guarantee you that. Housekeepers, gardeners, et cetera, et cetera. You know what? But, you know, the thing is, they got to do it legally somehow. And you know what? California's not handling it correctly. They got to say, you know what? We got to, you know, accept everybody, but you got to be here legally.
There you go. Thanks so much for the call, Kevin. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Your thoughts on the city council voting to investigate the governor of Texas for human trafficking for sending now 11 buses of migrants to the city of Los Angeles. 800-222-KABC. Gino in Pacoima. Gino, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
How you doing, Randy?
Doing great.
So, you know, I listen to your show as much as I can every day. The question in this particular segment, LA deserves to get busloads because of our sanctuary city status, which, if that's what a sanctuary city is, and Abbott, Texas can't handle all of these people. What is he supposed to do with them? Put them and leave them in unsanitary conditions? They're talking women and children. LA should be welcoming these. The city council
with open arms.
Well, I agree. That's what they voted for. This is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And then I just have to say one thing. Last night on my way home from work, I was listening to another talk show, and Karen Bass was on. And I hear her say, was talking about homelessness and the subway system downtown. I'm not familiar with downtown, so I don't want to overspeak myself. But again, she was talking about this homeless crisis that we have. So she decided to get a delegation together and sent them to Philadelphia. What I see about Philadelphia, it's worse than LA. Why would our mayor spend $1 on sending a committee to go see how Philadelphia is having success with their homeless? I just don't get it, Randy.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We shouldn't be looking to Philly for anything except for cheesesteaks. Thanks so much for the call, Gino. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. We'll keep going with your phone calls. The LA City Council voting to investigate if the governor of Texas is a human trafficker for sending the buses of migrants. Your thoughts on this whole mess of a situation. We're taking your phone calls, nothing but your phone calls, 800-222-KABC. Your reaction to the LA City Council voting unanimously to investigate if the governor of Texas is guilty of kidnapping and human trafficking for sending now 11 buses of migrants to the city of Los Angeles. Your thoughts on all this. 800-222-KABC. Let's start with Angel in Pomona. Angel, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, this is Angel. I'm from Pomona. I've grown up all my life in the San Gabriel Valley. I'm a proud Chicano, meaning that I am United States citizen with heritage from Mexico. And I have to say that the city council are hypocrites. They're just simply posturing for their own political gain. Okay, so I'm totally against what they're doing. Because if they're a sanctuary city, own it, okay? Whatever the governor is who is sending them over, to me, that's a humanitarian thing. Apparently they can't handle them. Send them somewhere where they can, or supposedly you can. Now, the feds, the reason they're not doing anything is for political posturing as well. and the economy because of the low wages that these hard workers are here for. But the biggest thing that's bothering me right now is the guy you just had on talking about Mexico or all those countries being asshole countries. You know, he's the one who will go to the taco place, to all the Mexican restaurants, and happily eat our foods, but then, and then maybe even vacation down to Cancun or down to San Felipe somewhere, yet call it an asshole country. I don't accept that one bit. Do you know Blue Zones, the happiest place in the world? Have you read that book?
I have not.
That book lists what he calls blue zones. He uses a formulation of quality of lifestyle and different things to determine what are the happiest places in the world. Denmark. I don't remember what country, but Mexico is one of the happiest countries in the world. The country. Over here in the United States, only one state, I think it was Loma Linda. Okay, so, and why is that, right? Because the hard work ethic and the fact that there's people running, but the fact that they're able to laugh at their situations. Over here, people are angry. Over there, there's corrupt politicians. There's cartels. But, they have to live. They have to raise their families, and they do so without calling anyone else an asshole country. So I reject that.
I totally agree with you. I think that was out of line. Angel, thanks so much for calling. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All matters of opinions are welcome here at KABC. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. It's Randy Wang here broadcasting live from the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa Living Room Studio. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. The LA City Council voted to investigate if the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has been kidnapping and human trafficking the migrants he's been sending here by bus 11 times over since the middle of June. Your thoughts on all this? 800-222-KABC. Thanks to everyone who's sitting on hold. We'll try to get to you as fast as we can. Bert in Malibu. Bert, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Randy?
Doing great.
So let me give you a progression list. LA City Council denies everything and making counter accusations immediately because they're the adrenochrome junkies, the Pizzagate pioneers. They're the child traffickers. Abbott saved those children. However, they went from the fire to the frying pan because they didn't initially get taken by the cartels. And now you leave it to the hands of the cartels like the LA City Council. The solution is build the wall. I'll take your call or response out there, and thank you for being a great American.
Well, I thank you so much for the call, Bert. Appreciate it. Did he say Pizzagate? Oh, boy. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Brendan in Torrance. Brendan, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Ben? So I haven't been, I'm not huge into politics. Don't really have like a horse in the race or anything. And I haven't been listening since the beginning of the show, but I do want to go over the all-knowing definition of human trafficking given to me by Google.
All right, what does Google say?
Based off of what I'm seeing, hang on, I'm so sorry. Let me pull it back up. Okay. So the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. So I am failing to kind of find any grounds that they're going to be able to charge that guy based off of that definition.
And you didn't even need to do more than 15 minutes of investigating. What's the city council going to do?
15 seconds, actually.
There you go. Hey, Brendan, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Please call again. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Your reaction to the LA City Council voting to investigate if the governor of Texas is a kidnapper for sending the buses full of migrants. Let's go to Kevin in Studio City. Kevin, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for taking my call. I
want to say it probably wasn't too tough to predict. I mean, what city council member is going to say they're pro-human trafficking? I think what the point I just want to make, to you and your listeners is how much this is just theater. So much of the political stances of these people is theater, whether it's, you could argue that Abbott's got his version of the theater, but I appreciate that he sort of said, okay, the sanctuary cities, that's going to work. Let's send him to New York. Let's send him to L.A. And now they're going to come back and say, oh, we're against human trafficking. But I think people need to just kind of understand, back when Prop 47 was passed, they called it the Safe Schools Initiative, I believe, or something like that.
Safe Schools and Neighborhoods Act.
Yes. And so now what person that goes in is going to go, oh, I'm not for safe schools? I mean, it was, by the way, I think it was Kamala Harris that gave it that name. Anyway, I think that if I would just say, people, my mother's favorite term of what not to be when you grew up was gullible. And I think that we have a lot of people that, they feel good voting and saying a certain thing, but they don't really think about the consequences of it, maybe, like they could. Prop 47 had a lot of unintended consequences. Now everybody sees it, and same with 57. And so I would just say, look past all this theater, because it's kind of predictable and it's very misleading. They're not going to get anywhere with a case like that, I predict.
No, it means absolutely nothing. It's nothing but city council symbolism. Kevin, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. How about David in Buena Park? David, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hi, Randy. I've lost 3 friends to the actions of illegal aliens between the late 70s and the early 90s. But when my first grade son came home reciting the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish and didn't know it in English, I got involved. I met this lady named Barbara Coe and a guy named Rob Griggs. I helped write Prop 187. And once we formulated it and got it all out and started setting up tables and gathering signatures, you would not believe how many white people would walk by and call me a racist. And 80% of the people in line to sign those petitions were people of color, Hispanic, Latino, blacks, whatever you want to call them, because it was happening in their communities. They could see it up close. God rest Barbara Coe's soul. We tried. It passed 60%. Governor Davis let it die, and Schwarzenegger wouldn't resurrect it.
Yep, there's a history lesson for you. David, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Interesting about Prop 187, if you listen to Gavin Newsom's interviews, which I listen to a lot of them, he claims it was that legislation where the Republicans were not able to win anything in the state of California going on since then. That's what he says. I'm just telling you what he said. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. How about Elizabeth in Santa Monica? Elizabeth, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to comment on how insulting this is, because we have these people coming over who are clearly not suffering. They haven't been kidnapped, and everybody knows it. It's a bunch of BS. The more disturbing aspect is that now, if you disagree with somebody, they will arrest you. Before that, they used to just silence you. Now you will be investigated and then indicted. And even though it is a little bit of theater, just that they're tiptoeing around that is extremely disturbing. We're going down a very dangerous path here. And that's all I have to say.
Well, Elizabeth, thanks so much for your opinion. We appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. We will take Ruth, Jim, Jeff, Wayne, Armando, and you at 800-222-KABC next as the calls continue. The John Phillips Show talking about the L.A. City Council voting to investigate the governor of Texas for human trafficking for sending 11 buses of migrants. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Wayne in Laverne. Wayne, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello. Wayne.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Yes, thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What would you like to say?
Hello. I'm sorry. I keep buzzing in and out. My thoughts on the investigation to whether or not Governor Abbott is a human trafficker. If they're going to investigate, they need to investigate back to the supply chain. This would be the Biden administration for helping them along across the border. Also, Gavin Newsom himself, as far as I'm concerned, is guilty of the same crime. He's declared California a transgender sanctuary state, and this is all aimed at minors, that they can come here secretly and get the health care or whatever that it is that they're looking for that was denied them in other states. So, and then also sending a delegation to Philadelphia for the homeless problem. You got to be kidding. Like the previous caller said, it's all theater.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the call, Wayne. Appreciate it. Yeah, what are we going to learn from Philly? How to be worse sports fans? 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Ruth in Malibu. Ruth, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hi. Well, Malibu is a sanctuary city as well. And I would like to have the governor drop off 12 buses in Malibu to see if Malibu are hypocrites just like L.A. City Council. I think it'd be fun to watch.
Maybe we can get them a reservation at Nobu.
Why not? Listen, they voted for it. They want it to be a sanctuary city. Talk is cheap. Bring them on over to Malibu. Come on, gang.
There we go. Abbott knows where to send the next bus. Ruth, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. How about Jim in Lakeside? Jim, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
This is getting good. You know, with all these suggestions of more sanctuary cities and going here and there and learning from other people, don't you think it would be delicious irony if Governor Abbott started investigating the L.A. City Council and Gavin Newsom for something that could be pinned on them?
Well, he doesn't even need to. Most of the L.A. City Council is under FBI investigation right now.
Exactly.
I mean, you want to talk about a criminal organization? We now have 4 members of the LA City Council that have had to deal with the feds.
Make them play by the rules that they have established.
There you go, Jim. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. How about, Armando? We love Armando. Armando, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, Randy, I love it when you run the week. I do, man, every day. I know John's on vacation, but, Randy, get your show together.
Oh, I'm happy to be here in any capacity they want me. What do you want to say, Armando?
So what's going on in Texas? The greatest state that they had boasted about, Pac-10, Longhorns, we're the best state, we're a rich state, and you have a governor who's sending a few buses, 11 buses of immigrants to Los Angeles? What's the matter with them? Can't they afford to take care of a few people? Yes, we are a sanctuary city. We accept them. We will take them. What is wrong with Texas? If I lived in Texas, I'd be embarrassed. I would sit there and go, why can't we afford to take care of a few people?
What if the bus was going through Texas and they made a stop in Amarillo and everyone said, no, just keep going. Just keep going. We don't want to stay here.
Well, it's a choice of what they want, but the matter is, why is Texas pawning off this? They can't afford to do this. Why are they making themselves look so bad? The people in Texas have to think about the governor. You need a new governor. You need a Democratic governor to get in there and run your state because obviously you people make bad choices.
There you go, Armando. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. You think Beto's going to run again? 800-222-KABC is the phone number. How about Jeff in Culver City? Jeff, you're on the John Phillips Show. Hello.
Hey, Randy. Longtime listener to both you and John. Love your show.
Thank you.
This topic really rubs me wrong. And it's all, when we had the Trump administration in there, we didn't have this problem whatsoever because he closed the border. If you wanted amnesty, you did it the legal, proper way. I'd like to see these illegals go to the steps of the White House.
Oh,
But
they've sent a
Biden
couple
would
of
deal
those
with it
buses to Kamala's residence.
There you go. Perfect. That's basically what I have to say.
Well, thanks so much for the call, Jeff. Appreciate it, and thanks for the kind words. All right, we got one more hour to go here, and maybe we'll take a half hour more of these calls, and then we got to move on, because at some point I got to give away this Awakening Vegas package. But look at this. Nothing but phone calls, opinions on all sides, and we're here to have a serious discussion about this topic that's facing the city of L.A. Let's keep going. It's the John Phillips Show, 800-222-KABC. This is Talk Radio 790 KABC.